Welcome to this Thursday night flight. We are here in sunny Fort Lauderdale, Florida, getting ready to fly Inter Miami FC to their first preseason game against the El Salvador national team. So, highly anticipated match on a global scale. And you can see it's a beautiful day here in Fort Lauderdale. Sorry about the really loud engine noises over there. A little out of balance. But we'll go ahead and get down here to our MD-83 with Coastal Airways. We're flying 498 Charlie Sierra, which is also affectionately known as Yellowfin. See, we're parked here between two Lear 35s at Shelter. But team is all on board, bags are all on board. We're ready to get going. Let's go ahead, hop on board, get the APU fired up. I don't believe I got that going yet. And we'll get underway to sunny San Salvador in El Salvador. It was a balmy 95 degrees Fahrenheit there earlier today, which is pretty crazy considering where I live right now. It's very cold, so it's hard for me to even imagine 95 degrees at the moment. Let's go ahead and get the APU fired up here really quickly. That way I don't lose power in a bit. And while we're waiting on that, I'll go ahead and brief up our flight really quickly. As you can see, weather's really nice here in Fort Lauderdale. Winds are very light out in the south, and a few clouds at 25,000 feet. 23 for the temperature, 22 for the dew point, 3005 on the altimeters is set across the board. And we'll be taking off runway 10 right this afternoon, so it should be a fairly short taxi for us, and then we'll be departing down to the south. In El Salvador, the weather is also pretty nice. Let's pull that up for you really quickly. Get that up on the... Pull that up here on the screen for everyone. Get the Aviation Weather Center up and going. Glad to have everyone here tonight. It is very late where I am. It's probably late where most of you are too. But if you're watching later on the replay, I appreciate you tuning in. Check this out. I'll put some bookmarks up so you can skip to the parts of the flight that you would like to see. So be sure to check that out. All right, so here is the Aviation Weather Center website. I think you all can see that right now. It's covering the whole screen, but as you can see, it's beautiful conditions in San Salvador. So winds are out of the northeast, 4 knots, clear above, clear skies. QNH is 10-11 and temperature 25, dew point 21. Forecast is calling for the conditions to stay the same basically the rest of the evening there. So if we look at the world conditions, since we're heading down into Central America, we're not going to have as much of the weather products available to us, but it's pretty nice. Dilly Dewan, you can see, hey, welcome aboard, Sean. Glad to have you on too. You can see it's actually pretty nice weather between Fort Lauderdale and San Salvador this evening, which is a good thing. SIGMET-wise, nothing except there's volcanic ash down in Guatemala. Thankfully, we're not going to Guatemala today, but I think if you're heading over, I think Tegucigalpa is over that direction maybe. You may be having to deal with a little bit of volcanic ash today, but nothing that should affect us on our flight. AirMet-wise, let's take a look at what we have up here. Just instrument conditions, I guess up to the north of Fort Lauderdale, really. It's nice here, so nothing that should affect us in that regard. See if I can get us to the... Sometimes this map works, sometimes it doesn't. They recently updated the website, and you can see, yeah, there's some storms up to the north, and definitely a few storms out over the Atlantic, north of the Bahamas. And there we go. We can see the volcanic ash again, just to the west, really, of Tegucigalpa. But nice for us. Plenty of alternates along the way. take this screen down for a bit so y'all can see again. So we're back in the cockpit. We'll take a look at our route here in a minute, but first off, we don't need to take off alternates. No special airport information out of here. No MEL items. Let's check the tablet just to make sure everything's looking good in here. Nothing's showing deferred. It's looking good. NOTAM wise, only thing. I was checking the NOTAMs. There's actually a pretty funny one down in San Salvador. They had a NOTAM that they have the tower controllers are in training. So might have some. I guess in real life you'd have some training controllers. So they give you a warning, and the NOTAM's going down there. Weather's looking good. Let's take a look at our taxi route. It's been a little while since I've done the. Oops, I don't want that. Sorry, I meant to go to Navigraph. Been a little while since I've done a stream, so I accidentally hit a wrong button when I was starting this. So sorry for the hiccup there, starting it up. I hit enter while I was still had OBS open, and it ended the stream, so I had to restart it. So, but we're good now. And yeah, here's the route just to give you an overview of where we're going. You can see we're heading down the Keys, pretty much Key West, and then south, straight across Cuba, and then we head across the Caribbean and Honduras and down into El Salvador, land into the northeast, east-northeast is today. So yeah, Dilly, the one you're saying volcanic ash, that's a first. Yeah, you say it's bad weather all over Florida. Been raining for the past 4 hours. So you obviously you're a little north of here, I'm guessing, because it's pretty nice in Fort Lauderdale at the moment, thankfully. So we'll get out of here before it gets any worse. Taxi route out of here. So we're at Shelter. So it's going to be a very short taxi. We'll taxi out Golf. I have to get around this Lear here. That's from FSTL. So I'll make two. They just popped up right in front of us. But we'll take a right on Golf, right Lima, right Hotel, Hotel 4, and then Juliet 1 to 10 right. 8,000 feet of runway available. Planning flaps at 9.5. And we're going to be doing the flex takeoff at selected of 50 for the temperature. You can see that here. And speeds of 149, 180, I'm sorry, 130, 135, and 144, and that's set in the bucket. It'll be standard abort criteria, so below 80 knots we'll reject the takeoff for a variety of reasons. At or above 80 knots, only for engine fire, severe engine damage, or the inability of the aircraft to get or stay airborne, or wind shear. Once we take off, we're planning, like I said, 10 right, so it's climb on a heading of 096, which is set, and to 580 feet, then direct to Calypso, and then it's vectors from there onto our route, which we have here. So let me see if I can get that here, Calypso. Oh, there it is. So I got thrown off here. I'm like, wait a second. So you have vectors, and then the departure continues way down to the south here at the bottom of the plate. So then you have Osti at 5,000, Manor, M-Claw, check this out, Fundy, and then from there we are onto our flight plan route after the departure. Go down here, we have Fundy, J-Beer, Kavka, Alvec, Uniform Charlie Lima, Selec, I believe that's Roatan, and then from there we are on the we're doing the Moram 3 kilo arrival. They have all sorts of arrivals, as you can see here, but these are all going to runway 7 in San Salvador. So let's see, after Roatan, I don't know, it just doesn't have take a look at this. Let's see, Roatan, Ernos, UB 764 to Moram. And the way our release is set up, it just does not show all of those legs. This is the Southwest version. We'll take an eye. We'll keep an eye on that. But then after Moram, we're gonna have Moram at above 12, then Ilopanga. Then it's D219 Echo, La Paz, Astor, and then we'll load the approach later once we know that that's exactly what we're gonna get. That's what we're showing. Total distance we're playing at is 994, and we're showing 991 in the FMS, so that looks good. And clearance-wise, there's no controller on right now, but we did get the automated transponders of 1106, so I have that set in the transponder unit. And if we lose an engine, it'll be straight out 3,000 feet. We'll come back around to land here at Fort Lauderdale. Transition altitude of 180. That's all I have for right now. If y'all have anything in the chat, please don't hesitate to speak up. Appreciate y'all being on board on this for this flight at this hour. I certainly do. So I want to close this out. Let's go ahead and make sure we got everybody set up here. Let's get the APU power on. Perfect. Get the external power off of this aircraft so we can get out of here and get underway to El Salvador. Alright. That going. I'm just going to go ahead and flip these on. So do we have fuel in the center tank? Yes, we do. So let's get those pumps on also. Go ahead and let's close up all our doors. Make sure they're all closed. Yep, everything is clear. GPU is disconnecting as we speak. I'll go ahead and switch over to air flight mode. Let's close the hatch. Captain Denny, hello, welcome aboard. Glad to have you on here also. Sean, you're saying that they're descending in real life right now? Awesome. Yeah, they left pretty late at night, so and using a different operator. I'll show you all when we get in the air the details on all of that, but yeah, so they're not there in real life yet either. It's pretty cool. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get us ready to roll here. Alright, 4-star check, 0 fuel weight is set. Takeoff condition computer set. Stabilizer trim set. Flap takeoff selector set. It's 9.5. Airspeed bugs TRP set. Fuel and pumps. I guess I didn't say it, but 24.1 is planned. 24 is on board. Min fuel is 22.8. Doors closed. Hydraulics on high. 4-star check complete. Starting 2, then 1. Here we go. And I do have track IR for the flight this evening, so I'll be activating that at certain points of the flight. Present to, there's max motoring. There's fuel flow, and there's our EGT. Percent starter cut out, and we'll let the engine stabilize. There we go. Let's start 1. Get our timer reset for the starter limits, and just in case we have a start malfunctions, good to have that timer. Alright, here comes our max motoring of 20% and 2. There's our fuel flow. EGT, light up. Alright, 40% is our starter cutout, so there's 40%. So let's flip the switch up here for the starter. Guard back, and we'll wait on the engine to stabilize for us. Alright. There we go. Let's do our flows here. There we go. click the right switch. There we go. Check our flight controls really quickly. Make sure that's all working. Honeycomb Alpha and everything. The rudder pedals are all hooked up. Got our flaps set to 9.5. Close our pneumatic crossfeed valves. RTO set for that. And TARA on the transponder. All right. So before taxi check, air conditioning panel is set. Pitot heat and ignition is on. We'll turn the ignition on just for takeoff. Anti-ice, standard engine instruments checked. Flight controls free. Flaps and slats. 9.5. TO set. Transponder TARA and pneumatic crossfeed closed. Before taxi check completes. Here we go.
Traffic. Velo 431. 10 miles on runway. We're about a 8 mile on runway. 10 left approach. Orlando.
Alright, so he's coming into 10 left. Alright, we're clear right. We're just gonna pull around this phantom aircraft here. We have, so as our wing walker says, we have plenty of clearance. Here we go. Alright. I'll pull up the airport diagram for you all. Fort Lauderdale traffic, Riptide 5801 MD-83 taxiing from Shelter at runway 10 right via Lima Hotel 4 Juliet 1 Fort Lauderdale. Alright, nobody's up here. He's landing on the left side. He's coming in from out way back behind us.
Fort Lauderdale traffic, Velo 431 is about a 4 mile final runway. 10 left approach. Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, here we go. Oh no, we got the AC cross tie lockout. Let me take care of that right here. I'm gonna stop. This is something you can only fix on the ground. You're only supposed to fix on the ground. So let me go ahead. Let me set the parking brake so we can do this. We have to look behind our seat to correct this. So, all right. That's why you gotta check the. Gotta make sure you check your. I think I'm gonna have to turn off my track IR in order to see this. But it's a good thing to check that master caution before you get up in the air, because you might have something crazy like this going on. So see, it's back behind the captain's seat, and you really have to move your view around to see it. AC cross tie lockout reset, use only on the ground. So here we go. We're gonna open it up, and you can reset like that. And now, as you can see, that message is gone. So, but you got to do it on the ground. All right, here we go. That's just an automatic function of. It just fails every so often on this aircraft, so you just got to be aware of that. Try to catch it on the taxi out, or preferably, I would have caught it before we even started taxiing, but I didn't see it then. Alright, here's Hotel 4. That's our turn. Okay, we're clear left. This is the fun runway to take off on because you're climbing uphill the last half of the runway. Airplane almost auto rotates for you. It's like I said, we're planning a 10 right departure out of Fort Lauderdale. Flaps are set at 9.5, speeds at 130, 135, 144. It'll be nav mode at 400 feet AGL, and then we'll do VNAV at 1000 AGL. And we're stopping at 4000 right now, but with no ATC, we'll probably just keep it climbing. I think we have one restriction at 5000 a little later on. So.
Fort Lauderdale traffic, Velo 431, just vacated up 10 left at Alpha 7. We're going to taxi to Alpha 6 and then cross runway 10 left at Alpha 6.
Right, before takeoff, check takeoff
and
config, check ignition selector. A is set, altimeter set, ABS and spoilers, arms. Before takeoff, check complete. Fort Lauderdale traffic, grip tab 5801, taking off runway 10 right, departing to the east. Fort Lauderdale. Alright, final is clear. Let's go ahead and get the lights on. Thanks.
Fort Lauderdale traffic, Velo 431, crossing runway 10 left.
0 right is on the sign there. So everybody coming opposite direction, that's a good thing. And it's just art and op on the advisory, so we'll cancel the master caution. Alright, if y'all are ready to roll, we're gonna head out of here. So there's 10 right on the pavement. 096 is the heading we should have across the board. Definitely want to make sure everything's matching up, especially going out over the ocean like we are for a while. Yeah, 096. One, two, three, here we go. 5 controls. We have 1.40 on the EPR. And arm the auto throttle and toga. Set thrust. Thrust set. There's clamp. 80 knots. Check. V1, rotate. See, look at that. That runway basically like gets you set up to rotate all on your own. How's the rate? Gear up. Nav mode. Set climb thrust. VNAV. Flaps 0. And let's see, our clean maneuvering speed's 227. Got some ships out there, always a lot of scenery. Yeah, I can definitely see up to the north the weather deteriorates, like you were saying, Dewan. Alright, so let's head out toward Calypso, and then it's vectors back on course. No ATC on, so we'll just vector ourselves direct to Asti more than likely. $3,000 for 4,000. Let's go ahead and flaps up. Let's go turn autopilot on. And we'll go ahead and do our cleanup here. VNAV capture, that's good. And we're leveling off, excellent. And speed's holding at 250, awesome. Alright, I'll go ahead and just get all these items done here. Looking good. Cabin's running like it should. Alright, I'll flap us back over here. I'm going to take us direct to Asti. There's Asti. Clear, alright, here we go. Execute. I'll turn us that way. It's trying to turn us the opposite direction. There we go. And one sync on, there we go. And we don't need ignition anymore. Be smooth going out here. Again, I'm going to turn the radar on just in case, but it looked like all the storms were to our north. Alright, I'll nav it up. So I'll say we cross at 5,000 and then we can climb it up to flight level 360. Yeah, it's definitely a little hazy. Pressure's holding steady, and you can see that it's in auto mode because of the valve position there. It's moving. The wheel's moving on its own, which is good. I don't know if some of you are on a flight. Oh, it was back in the fall, I think, when I accidentally a mouse wheel flipped this cabin pressure controller switch to manual, and we had a didn't know about it, and we ended up having a pressurization issue. So really the only really good indication you get in the Mad Dog is that wheel moving on its own, and then you just have to keep a close eye on your cabin climb rate and make sure it's at a normal value for the phase of flight you're in. So usually just a few hundred feet per minute, right? Maybe even 500 feet per minute in the climb. Want to see like 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 feet per minute, that would be a problem. There's downtown Miami off the nose. Nice view. Very hazy in Miami also. And one thing to make sure, we have told the autopilot to intercept the nav course to Asti, so it should be intercepting that on this heading. So it's armed to do that, but we're going to make sure. We need to verify that the autopilot does what we think it should do.
Traffic.
Alright, so there's somebody 600 feet above and descending off the left side. I don't see them. They're behind us now. They're at our altitude. It shouldn't be a factor for us. Yeah, they're behind us and below us now. Guess that's a lot of traffic coming in and out of the Miami area. See if I can get us the live ATC feed from Miami, since it's pretty quiet in VATSIM at this hour. Because we have the FSTL traffic up, so that's the real traffic that's flying around. That's the reason I'm following these altitudes, because you could have a conflict, because all these airplanes are flying around in real life, as we just saw. I was going to say, we're in Miami departure now. Let's see if anybody talks. Let's hop over to the FO. There's a beautiful golf course there, somewhere just to the east of Miami. That looks, I wonder what course that is. Let's hop over to the FO seat really quickly. I just want to see what the...
Victor 516 guys.
Oh yeah, there's a view of downtown.
Victor 516 flight plan code.
Here's Leo Messi's view in the back. Look at that.
Come back out and try Marco again, or are you just going to bed for good night until I'm trying again?
Messi, Suarez, the rest of the team. Last view of Miami before they head to... There's Miami International.
In the morning.
Very cool.
I like that. Have a good night. Get some rest.
Alright, we'll climb to 5,000 now for Austin. $4,000 for 5,000. Well, one thing we're not going to have to worry about on this flight is low-level icing. So, this isn't an NHL charter, this is the opposite. We're flying to Central America, this is soccer, so warmer climates. However, our friends, the other Major League Soccer team we charter, Orlando City, is having to travel all the way up to Vancouver Island later actually in February, to play Calgary. Forge FC, I believe is their name. It's the Calgary team, and in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So it's like the North American tournament for all the best club soccer teams in North America. So they are going to have a little bit cooler match. Alright, so nav track is active now. That's good. We're heading direct to Austin. I'm going to turn on the data here so we can see that restriction here on the navigation display. You see Austin, there's that 5,000 feet that were mandatory crossing restriction, unless you're told otherwise by ATC. Like I said, I'm going to follow the restrictions tonight since I have the live traffic activated. I'm hoping we're going to get a good view of the Florida Keys as we head down south. Like we were looking at in the pre-flight, we do have a pretty neat route. I'll zoom in a little bit on it for us. We'll switch to the new VFR map mode, which Navigraph added. I think that should, let's see, FA sectional, that's the one. Yeah, so you can see we're going just off the Keys, and it looks like we head south right at Marathon International, so we don't quite make it all the way to Key West. Then we just head straight across the Straits of Florida and over Cuba. Alright, I'm going to set 360 in the altitude window now. So we'll climb to once we pass Alsti. Yeah, it is pretty bad weather down there, Delon. Down here in South Florida now. It's relatively nice at Fort Lauderdale, but as soon as we left the Fort Lauderdale area, wow, it really went downhill. Got to turn the ART back to auto. I'm at reserve thrust there.
Sterling 538, contact Miami Center on 133.85.
Well, I can see the Keys, 12 o'clock.
Negative Aeromexico 435, stay with me.
Alright, let's take a look outside the aircraft really quick while we're plowing along toward Alsti at 5,000 feet. Here we go. I wonder if that's the Homestead racetrack there. That's where if it is, that's where they used to always conclude the NASCAR season. Alright. Well, once we get up above 18,000 feet and into cruise flight, we'll do a little bit of preview of the matchup that's coming up. The reason Enter Miami is flying down to San Salvador is to play the El Salvador men's national soccer team. So it's kind of rare to have a club team play a national team, but that's happening in this case, I think, because Leo Messi is so popular. I heard that there were vendors in San Salvador that have been selling Lionel Messi merchandise all week, and apparently there's quite a demand for this match. It's one of the few times that Leo Messi actually makes it down to Central America to play a match where people can see him live, so people are very excited about it. Obviously, soccer or football is a very popular sport in that part of the world, and arguably the greatest player to ever play the sport is going to be there once this flight touches down. So, pretty exciting thing for a lot of people in that part of the world. But we'll preview that once we're up at altitude. Get another view. Captain Denny, you said that is the Homestead Speedway. Excellent. I didn't realize just how far south that was of the city, but yeah, I think they moved the final race of the season out to Phoenix now, if I'm thinking correctly. I didn't catch much of the NASCAR season this year, but I'm pretty sure they're out in Phoenix now for the finale. But pretty soon it'll be time to start the new season. Daytona 500 is on the horizon, so. Well, cool, you can see. So I do have the RK Bridger
And 3 descend via the Frogs, 4 arrival, Miami landing east, the Miami altimeter
which is supposed to
3005.
improve the rendering of all the bridges and the keys. So I think that's one example down there what Arcade Bridger does. You can see it's an actual bridge. Alright, we are past our altitude restriction. Let's climb. So I hit the VNAV button again and it'll take us up. Here we go. Captain Denny, I take it you must be a NASCAR fan then if you cannot wait for the Daytona 500. I'm trying to see what your profile picture is there. It looks like it almost has a Cup Series on it, but I'm guessing you must be a race fan. Got quite a few high-level clouds up above us. Let's get a view from the back now. Leo Messi and company. You can see they have a pretty good view of the keys back here. Also the Everglades off the right side. Just love the color of the water once you get down in the keys. Really pretty. And if I was on this flight, I'd be glued to the window just looking at this scenery. This would be so cool. And we even have some stuff looked at off the left side for now. Alright, let's hop back up to the cockpit. I'm pretty sure. Yep, there's 10,000 feet. Yeah, Captain Denny, I'm actually going to be hopping on the company chat right now since we are above 10,000 feet. That's what I was waiting for. So let me run a few checks here, make sure everything's looking good on our cabin altitude. It's climbing. The pressure controller should be in auto mode. Just saw it moving. Okay, so climb check, ignition off. APU is off. Fuel pumps are set. That one came off. That should be on. Yep, they're set. Spoilers, ABS, disarm, off. Yeah, flaps and slats up, lights out, stowed. Pump check complete. Cool. Well, glad you'll be hopping on soon, Captain Denny. Alright. For anyone that has access to the company channels, I am on the M-Flight channel at this time, so you're more than welcome to hop on board. Get the jump seat out for you right now. There we go, the jump seat is out. Let's take a quick look at how our fuel is doing. Looks like McClaw, top of climb. McClaw is our first fix where we get a fuel reading at on our release. So it's just have 19,000 pounds of fuel there. Right now the flight management computer is projecting 18.9, so it'll be just about 100 pounds low when we get to that point. But pretty much on track with what was planned for us. Just gotta keep an eye out for 18,000 so we get our lights off, or our company A cars will dock my score substantially. Alright, cool. There's some more of the keys off the right side of the aircraft.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Well, you know, another day, another battle.
That's right. Thanks for hopping on, John. Everybody, this
I
is
thought you
John.
were probably lonely.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a, it's not too long of a flight compared to some of the ones you do on the charter side, but I mean, I think it's up a 2.5 hour flight or so.
Better than going from Calgary and back?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, especially this time of year, any westbound flight, north, in the United States is pretty rough.
Yeah. I was gonna do some flying, but I was just too tired. I got home from work an hour ago, so.
Okay. Is it a busy day?
Yeah.
Cool.
We had a jet suck up a water bottle.
Uh-oh, that's not good. That's some
It
serious
is. Surprisingly,
spot.
I think so far they haven't found any damage. So I think we're gonna get lucky.
Good. Oh, there's 180. Got all these switches flipped. Don't need that, don't need that. And 2992 on the altimeters. Alright, 2992 set and cross checked. We're set. Guess we'll be heading over to Cuba here pretty soon. And the FO gets all the good views on this flight. I'm sorry?
I'm surprised you streamed today.
Yeah, I haven't streamed in a long time.
You gonna try to get back in the habit of things, or is this gonna be one of those
Yeah, I'd
things
like
where...
to. It's just, I'm just not free to do it until pretty late at night, so. And then sometimes if it's those longer flights, I've been doing a lot of long flights out to the West Coast, and it's a long time to stream, so.
I feel that.
But this flight's a nice length. And it's to an interesting place,
Yeah, when have you ever gone to El Salvador? I can't even speak.
I did it one time. This is the first time with Coastal, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to San Salvador with, I was at United Virtual, because they had code share flights you could do. So I believe it was Avianca. It's like an Avianca flight. But it was cool. I mean, what I remember is like the actual airport that we're going to is like right at sea level, but really close by are volcanoes that are over 7,000 feet, So there's a lot of topographical change in that area. Man, I can already see Cuba. It's not very far across the water from the Keys to Cuba. Back tomorrow night. Yeah, Inter Miami is not spending a lot of time down there. I probably will. I don't know if I'll stream it, but it's gonna be a night flight. We actually didn't know. We couldn't find any tracking info for this flight for the longest time. Sean and I, and so we had just scheduled it for daytime, which is cool because you can actually see stuff. But then we found out they actually
Sean
left.
found it.
Yeah, he found it. It's. I'll show it on the stream here in just a bit, but they left about 10 o'clock Eastern, so it was a night flight, and it was the #1 tracked flight in the world. I think because Leo Messi's on the flight, you know. People are pretty excited about this game, yeah.
All right, I want to do a flight. Probably do the A300.
Cool. Where are you flying to?
I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to fly back. Oh, excuse me. From Porto, Portugal, back to Brussels.
Okay.
But that's a 2.5 hour long flight.
Oh wow.
So I might do close to the trip.
Swing the amber band. Gotta watch these engines, man. They'll cook themselves. I was hearing that, like, some people when they first got this airplane, the Mad Dog, how that. I don't know if they were just firewalling it on takeoff or what they were doing. They were talking about, like, they'd have dual engine flame outs on climb out, you know.
Compression solid, pretty much.
Yeah, they will just fry themselves. Guess they don't have as many protections as some of these newer engines.
Still need to do, like, I want to fly the Mad Dog so bad.
You should. You can always use more Mad Dog pilots.
You know what?
It's a lot of fun.
I'll figure out the livery, do a flight, and then.
Have you been practicing some with it?
I haven't flown since, I don't even think, when was the last time I flew? Oh, I flew last weekend, but I only did a flight. I
Okay.
was busy. Yeah, flew the A300 from Brussels down to Portugal. I just have to do the return trip. Tomorrow I'll be on earlier, so.
Cool. So is the A300, is it available in the marketplace yet?
I don't think it's gonna be.
Okay. Like at
just
all?
because any builds. Yeah, because this one's. It might be on the marketplace. I could be just completely lying to you right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know if any build's gonna put it on. I think it is on there. Hold on.
I don't think flight plan expected. I don't think it planned for that departure where you stay down at 5,000 feet for an insanely long time.
Are you behind on gas now?
Only like 100 pounds, but I had 500 pounds extra, so.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Alright, 35, 36. We're gonna level off here. As of right now at Coastal, we have a fuel saving cost index of 20, so that's what we're using on this flight too. So master caution, center fuel pressure low. Okay, so we'll turn our center packs off.
Why is this going through my headset?
And I'll select cruise thrust. Alright, top of climb we had 18,500, but we leveled off a little later than planned, so. Whichever flight manager computer saying we'll have 18,100 and our flight plan was saying 18,000. So we're back to, we'll be 100 pounds extra, so that's good. And then I think we'll have to turn on the anti-ice. Open up the crossfeed, Mac crossfeeds, because we are in the clouds. That's associated. There we go. So heat it up. So, John, have you flown the coastal trip to Havana yet?
Yeah, in the 600.
Yeah, is that a fun one?
It's, oh, I like, for me, it didn't really like tickle my fancy, you know.
Right.
It felt like that trip you're just going all over the place, and it's like, because you go from like I think Miami to Cancun, back to Miami, up to Tampa, down to Havana, back up, and then you go some other places too.
Okay, gotcha.
There, I can tell you because I have the tool open.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a 7.3 trip. I would like to do one. I really like the Caribbean flying a lot. The island hopping, those are fun trips.
Yeah, that's one I miss. I need to do some Caribbean stuff. So yeah, you go Miami to Cayman Islands, back to Miami, then you go over to Tampa, and then you go to Havana and back to Tampa, and then you go from Tampa to Cancun, back to Tampa, then Tampa to North Florida Airport.
Okay.
And then back to Tampa, and then Tampa back to Miami. It's a 2-day.
Cool.
All in the 600. Trying to see what trips I have not done. I think it's really just the Caribbean. I've done the LaGuardia, the Bar Harbor. Done the insane 2-day where you go all the way up to Buffalo, where you have your short turn times.
Yeah, I like that trip.
Done to Miami. Yeah, I was thinking about doing it this weekend.
Yeah, you got
Miami. Oops, sorry.
I was saying, yeah, you got to turn and burn on that trip.
Yeah, it's a fun one. I've done the Miami, Norfolk, Providence, Detroit, and back down to Miami, and then you go to Jamaica and back. The one out of the 3 West Coast trips, since we have that new West Coast trip that came out. But I don't want to go out west for a while.
Avoid the winds.
Well, it's just because I spent so much time over there doing Caribbean flight.
Okay, yeah.
With Jason, that going out to Hawaii, and then like doing more flying out there, and then went all the way back. Kind of burned me out because there's just a lot of long legs. Trying to see if they added 300 on the Microsoft Flight Sim store or marketplace. Guess my sim's taking forever to load.
What were you looking to see if they added?
The A300.
Oh, okay. There's Cuba.
Northern Lights came out today. That's fun. Go see you at work.
What came out?
Northern Lights.
Like an add-on? Or you,
No, like in real life.
Oh, you saw them. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a bunch of snow down here in Tennessee.
Oh yeah, with the massive storm that came through.
Yeah, we had like 7 inches, which is a lot for down here.
Yeah.
And
that is definitely a lot.
it's night. It's just kind of like freezing rain. So I was like crazy. I was looking at the weather in San Salvador, and it was 95 degrees Fahrenheit today. You know, it's like, man,
You're like, can I go there?
it's crazy.
Dude, did you pack your swim trunks at least for the one night that you're down there?
Right? It's probably warm enough to swim at midnight, I would imagine.
Yeah, right.
Let's see here. I'm gonna try to see if I can't fix this. Well, it's at least nice weather down here. Like Dewan was saying, up in a little bit north of Fort Lauderdale, the weather is just really crappy.
Oh yeah, I saw they're getting more rain. 'Cause when I was at work, I was waiting on aircraft to come down to the runway to do our inspection, and I was just like looking at flights to do today, and I was saw the storms. I was like, maybe today's not a good day.
Yeah. Well, cabin's holding steady. That's good. I'm gonna switch to ignition V here. Alright, it's got 10-minute limitation on the ignition, so you gotta keep remembering to switch it. Almost seems like we're not in the clouds anymore, though. Like right on the edge.
You turn it off and then you're back into it.
Yeah. Oh, there's a cool view. I'm gonna go outside the airplane really quick. Actually, let me switch to the back. Get the passenger view. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if that's Havana or not. I don't think that's Havana, but I've never been to Havana, so I don't even know where it is in Cuba.
I couldn't remember. I've only been there once. My face. Aircraft.
All right. So 84 miles to Uniform Charlie Lima.
Does not look like they threw the A300 yet on the marketplace.
So you said they purchased it off the
Yeah, you can go to the any build. Yeah. Manager. A lot of people have made some great liveries actually for it.
Yeah. Well, apparently.
All right, John, you convinced me to fly.
Okay. The town we were looking at was Cardenas, Cuba. And Cardenas, whatever that is. Let's see. And we're next fix is 76 miles to Cayo Largo del Sur VOR. Cayo Largo del Sur. And I'll just leave the map up so everybody can kind of have a little bit of an idea where we are.
Not showing your position. I don't know if you have it on.
It's not showing what? The
Aircraft position.
on the
Oh, there it is.
Is it showing it?
Good.
Okay, there it is. Cool.
Yeah. I thought you were zoomed into the VOR you're at. I was like, that's weird. It's not
I'm
showing.
guessing there's a way to have it follow. Let's see, what's this do? Yeah, I think that'll follow. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn the anti-ice off. We don't need it right now.
What ATC did you have on earlier?
That was Miami departure, and then Miami center, and then right now we have Havana center on.
On live ATC?
Yeah, it's like, but what? It's basically 1:30 in the morning over there, so there's like nobody flying right now.
True.
Which I was kind of shocked at how busy Fort Lauderdale was. But I guess a lot of planes will come in, wrap it up by midnight.
True. I'll be right back. I have someone call me.
Sounds good. Alright, so we got our ignition off now, so that timer, see I started a timer every time I switch the ignition when I'm using it with the anti-ice, just to remember to switch it to the other one at 10 minutes to observe that limitation on ignition use. This looks like the Ciénaga, the Zapat. It's almost like a mangrove. Area, it's out there off our right side, but you can see there's not a lot of settlements in that area. I guess it's mostly wilderness with mangroves. Be kind of a swampy area according to this chart. Probably difficult to navigate on the ground. Have like mangrove mazes. And the Cayo Largo is one of these islands off 12 o'clock, it looks like. Be our next fix. Luis Reyes, hola. Welcome aboard, glad to have you on here. We're just over Cuba at the moment, so southern Cuba, and heading down, you probably saw in the title, heading down to El Salvador. We're simulating the charter flight Inter Miami is taking on their way to play the El Salvador men's national team. Once we get out over the water, I'll do some previewing of the match. We'll talk a little bit about the players. Inter Miami's had some off-season additions that made to the team, some big off-season additions. And also just kind of talk about some of the atmosphere around this game, some of the build-up, some of the hype, and also how you can watch the game tomorrow. It is going to be free to watch, thankfully. So we'll talk about how it is that you can watch Inter Miami play the El Salvador national team on Friday night. Let's take a look at the passenger view off the right side. They're looking down there at the mangrove area. Here's the outside view. Check out the left side of the aircraft here. Yeah, a lot of pretty sights. Even it looks like there's an airport down there off the left side. Let's see what that is. That's it's Jaime Gonzalez International, Cienfuegos, Cuba. Very cool. Alright, we'll hop back up to the cockpit. The flight deck here. Alright, we're getting close to the Cayo Largo up here. Like I said, after Cayo Largo, it's going to be water for quite a while, so that's going to be our time to talk about some soccer. There won't be as much to look at, obviously. We'll get a good view of Cayo Largo here in a minute. Yeah, there it is. There's an airport down there, it looks like, too. We can zoom in just a little bit so we can get a view of it. I think that's it right there, that strip. Very cool. Look at how blue the water is. Very cool. Alright, so on our flight release here, we were planning, let's see. Cayo Largo, we're supposed to have 16,600 pounds of fuel. Right now we're looking at 16,750. We have about 9 miles to go, so looks like we're looking right on track, maybe a little ahead of schedule, which is good on the fuel. Forecast ones are 259 at 50, and looks like it's pretty close to that now. And SAT was forecast to be negative 47, and we're showing right now negative 47, so right at forecast. Actually get your TAT there by pressing the TAT button, so that's at negative 22. So you can see just how much of a ram air rise there is from the air hitting the Aircraft's again, what is that? 25 degrees just from the friction. There's the overall routes. Like we said, nothing weather-wise for us, just the volcanic ash that's over in Honduras near Tegucigalpa, but shouldn't affect us on this flight. Winds continue to get lighter as we get south, and that is what we're experiencing. Sean, you're saying the big question is, do you think they will fly back to Fort Lauderdale or go directly to Dallas? I read an article earlier today that made it sound like they are going back to Fort Lauderdale and then going to Dallas this weekend. So, and honestly, I think that might make sense. Just I know Messi's he's a pretty big family guy, a family man, and he's probably wanting to spend some time with his family some this weekend. Yep, there's the airport. And now it's going to be ocean for quite some time. All right. Which means it's a great time to talk about soccer. So I'm going to try to get this, get some stuff pulled up here on the internet so we can talk about it. See here. So this is the first game coming up for Inter Miami, and it's basically a world tour that they're taking to go and complete their preseason, which it's rather ambitious. And the coach of Inter Miami, Tata Martino, was basically saying that there's a balancing act that's having to happen here between the business side of the team and also making sure that his players can get as much out of themselves for an entire season, right? Because obviously the reason they're doing this world tour is to build the brand of Inter Miami Major League Soccer, but mostly Inter Miami so that people around the world will want to watch Inter Miami, and hopefully they'll get a lot of money, and because you just don't see Major League Soccer teams do a world tour. But here, I'll show you the so they have it all on here. They do excellent. I will show you the full schedule here. Let me get this window reduced down for you so it's not, well, if I can. I was taking up the full screen, but that's okay. But as you can see here, they're going to El Salvador for tonight's game, Friday night's game. It'll be at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. You actually can watch it on MLSsoccer.com, so you can go there, you can watch it for free. I think they just make you you just have to give them your email address. They'll probably send you emails to try to get you to watch Major League Soccer stuff, but I'm sure there's a way to unsubscribe if you want to. And then heading up to Dallas, which I will be flying that flight with Coastal. They'll be playing in the Cotton Bowl, so obviously they're expecting a pretty big crowd at that game. And then it's all the way to Saudi Arabia, and they'll be playing Al Hilal and Al Nasser, both back-to-back within a few days of each other. And Cristiano Ronaldo actually plays, I believe, for Al Nasser. So it'll be Ronaldo versus Messi. That'll be a pretty big game. Looks like it's at noon Central Time. And then they continue their tour all the way into Asia. They go to Hong Kong, looks like they're playing the Hong Kong team. And then they go up to Tokyo to play Vissla Kobe. And then from there all the way back to Miami, where they will play Newell's Old Boys from Argentina. I believe they're from Argentina. And then it'll be time 6 days later for the season opener against Real Salt Lake. Major League Soccer season opener. So they're going to be very busy. So they have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 preseason games. A lot of travel before they even begin the season. And then after that, they're going to be having to play in the CONCACAF Champions Cup against the winner of Nashville SC and Mocha FC, which is a team from the Dominican Republic. So those two teams get to play each other. The winner will play Inter Miami in the next round. Miami got a bye because they won the League's Cup last year against Nashville. So we're getting a setup for a potential rematch of the League's Cup final in Inter Miami and Nashville if Nashville can meet the Dominican side Mocha FC in a few weeks' time. So we'll see. But it could be an exciting couple of months if you're an Inter Miami fan, for sure. Get to see a lot of different types of competition, and they've basically said that at least some of the Inter Miami players, or Luis Suarez and some others, they basically said that they expect to win everything. Like every tournament they're in, every competition they're in, they expect to win it. So that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. I think they definitely have the firepower to do it, which we'll look at here in just a second. But Sean, you're asking, would I fly the long haul if Coastal had a wide body? I would. I mean, heck, I'd fly the world flight on the Mad Dog. You and I, we've demonstrated that it can be done, right, Sean? We just have to do a lot of shorter legs, but we can do it, and I would do it if it was authorized. But it'd be fun. But I definitely would do it if we had a wide body. We just have to convince Jason to purchase an A300, right? You can at least, I think that'll go pretty far, won't it? I'm not sure what the range of an A300 is, but it's a lot, I believe. Pretty far, long distance. Yes. All right. Well, we are definitely out in the middle of the ocean now. Guess if we really had a problem, we'd go down to Grand Cayman. Probably about 70 miles from there. Let's see, what is that? MWCR? Looks like we're about 90 miles from it according to the navigation display. Should I say I'd love a 777, but I think a 767 might be more realistic. Yeah, I'll tell you, once PMDG drops that 777, that is a tempting thing. Let me tell you, just because of the fidelity that aircraft will likely have, you know. So I'm definitely planning to get the 777 whenever it releases. I've never really flown the 777, but I think it'd be fun to learn to fly. I think that's Grand Cayman off there to off the left side. You just barely make it out. I think that is Grand Cayman. Way out there. Great visibility this afternoon. Sean, you did quite a bit of cargo flying on it in P3D. So what was it, the PMDG 777 and P3D then? And if so, what did you think about it compared to the 7.3? I'd be really curious to know. Alright. Lots of water out there. Well, let's see. I think we'll talk a little more. Yes, the 777, and you liked it. Awesome. PMDG 777, you liked it. That's good to hear, because yeah, I'm excited about it coming out. I'm always excited for some well simulated transport category airplanes with a lot of the systems modeled. That's always a plus. Always a plus in my book. I don't think we're gonna have a lot of air traffic control at this hour of the night. Well, let's head back over here. Let's take a look at the some of the soccer stuff again with Inter Miami, because they've had a lot of changes over the off season here. They've actually picked up, I have no idea how they work this out with all of the roster rules in Major League Soccer, but they now have not only Lionel Messi, Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, some of the best players in the world from the last decade, but they have also picked up one of the best forwards of the last decade, Luis Suarez, who is still a prolific scorer. I believe he was last playing in Brazil, if I'm not mistaken. Scored quite a few goals down there. But yeah, Luis Suarez is now on the team. Doesn't look like they updated this roster here with him on there, but he is on the team. You see a lot of the guys here, unless I missed Luis Suarez. There's a pretty good documentary that's out on Apple TV called, I believe it's Messi Meets America. Kind of talks about sort of some of these players, especially Benjamin Kramashi, which is he's a young guy down here. He basically came to the academy, and then it's like he's a young guy, and all of a sudden he's scoring goals with Leo Messi, you know, one of the greatest players ever. So, but obviously he's just kind of, but he's up and coming. He's played with the U.S. men's national team now after Messi got on the team, and he really raised the level of a lot of these guys, and quite a few players. So I think that was really neat to see, just as a soccer fan. But yeah, I'm kind of shocked they don't show Luis Suarez on the roster there, but he is definitely on the team. It's been a big news story for the last month. Alright, so here's where to watch Inter Miami preseason fixtures, and you can see MLSsoccer.com, unless you live in El Salvador. If you're in El Salvador, then looks like you need to watch Canal for TCS, but it looks like the FC Dallas game will be, you can view that on MLSsoccer.com, and then you're going to have to go on Apple TV for the remainder of the preseason games, the ones that go into Saudi Arabia, Hong Kong, and Japan, and then that last one against Newell's Old Boys. But Yeah, a lot of, I mean, they're banking on a lot of people watching these games because it's Leo Messi, so. It looks like we're getting close to Silek now. And at Silek, we were supposed to have 15,300 pounds of fuel. Currently have 15,400 pounds. We have 2 miles to go, so we're right on track, which is good. We're in the turn. Now we have 323 nautical miles to our next fix. So quite a bit of water to cover. Let's pull up our Navigraph chart, get ourselves a nice overview of what we're doing here. Basically, once we get there, we're gonna be back inside the lands, ready to check out Honduras from the air. It should be pretty. There's a lot of mountains between Roatan, once we hit the mainland, and head down toward El Salvador. So this will be my first time flying down in this area on Microsoft Flight Simulator. I did go down here on X-Plane 11, like I was telling John earlier in the chat. I went down here when I was part of United Virtual, and they'd actually use some code share flights, which was fun. So I did some Avianca flying, and then there was, I'm not sure who it was, but they flew a Saab, so you did some little shorter hops around Honduras, like Guatemala, El Salvador. It was a lot of fun because there's actually some pretty mountainous terrain in the area, and it was summertime, so there were thunderstorms everywhere, and you're in a turboprop. It was a blast. But I think tonight we're gonna have some calm weather, which is just fine. Alright, well, while we're on the topic of these charter flights and the preseason for Inter Miami, I do want to show you the actual flight that the team was taking down to San Salvador today. So let me pull that up. Flight Radar 24 is a fun site to use if you want to track some of these flights. So I'll pull it up on there. So just give me 1 second, and we'll have it up. Need to log in. All right. So I'm gonna switch it over really quickly. Y'all can check this out with me. So there's Flight Radar 24, and so Inter Miami pretty much will always fly out of Fort Lauderdale, as you know if you watch these streams and Coastal Airways. We simulate that, but they were flying to San Salvador International Airports from Fort Lauderdale. Click that. And it was this flight right here, the Global X. So that's the charter company they're using in real life. I think it will let me view it. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. So they did already arrive. And you can see, yep, they followed basically, they were flying the exact same route that they did. And it's 2 hours 24 minutes for them, and they landed, I guess not too long ago. About an hour ago. So the team is there. But yeah, I'd actually never heard of this company. Global X. But here's all the flights that are showing right now on Flight Radar 24. You can see there's just not a lot of flights out in this area. We're actually right on the Cayman Islands here. So that's why we're not showing many planes, because there's really not much going on. Not hearing anybody on the radio either. I have the live ATC radio up. So, but it's middle of the night, so not much going on in this part of the world. Obviously the West Coast, everything's starting to wrap up. See, going into LAX, but cool website. Really have fun on this website. You can see, just look at all these mountains. Once we get past Roatan International, you can see it gets pretty mountainous over Honduras, all the way into El Salvador. The airport, San Salvador, is actually on a kind of a coastal plain, so the mountains drop off really fast, and you can see in close proximity to the airport some of the volcanoes, and I mean, you can't miss the fact that this is a volcano. Look at that. El Boquerón. But really cool topography in that area. Oh, let's see. Sean, you're saying if you zoom in, they park close to where we planned. Okay, awesome. Yeah, let me go do that really quickly. I do want to zoom in. Let's see if we can find that really quickly on the Flight Radar 24. So I'll go to the, I think if I click on the airport, it will let me look at everybody. Hold up. San Salvador. On grounds. No, they don't have it. There it is, Global X. We're gonna play it back. Let's try this again. Alright, let's see where they parked. Oh yeah, it is really close to where we were, where we planned. Let me see if it, what if they have a layer that is satellite view? I'm not sure how to set that. No, not that. But yeah, we were planning to park. I think we're parked right here, if I remember correctly. It's far northeast end of the terminal, but they are pretty close to it. So cool. Yeah, I would imagine they probably had a bus pick up Messi and co. They probably didn't want him walking through the terminal. There's be a lot of people. I don't know what security is like at that airport, if they let people go through the gate even if they don't have a ticket, or I just imagine there would be a lot of people waiting for him. This was the #1 tracked flight in the world at right when they were leaving Fort Lauderdale, by the way. So I sent a screenshot of that to Sean, our charter manager at Coastal. So it is a popular flight. I just love that the live weather in Microsoft Flight Simulator, it'll have the changes in the clouds and such out, even when you're out over the ocean, you know, where before all the MEDAR based weather, live weather, you know, you would never have anything over the ocean really. This is really cool. Something that's definitely easy to take for granted with what we have in Flight Sim 2020 now. Well, our fuel temps are still staying nice and relatively high, or 14 to 15 degrees. Cabin pressurization's holding steady. Try to see the views from the back really quickly. Sean, you're saying, I think they updated the fuel temps, right? Yes, they did adjust that in the last update of the aircraft. And I did notice that when you do put the fuel heat on, it definitely doesn't cool down as quickly, but it still will cool down pretty quickly. So I have never flown this airplane in real life, so I can't really tell you how realistic the current cooling rate is, but I'd be curious to know what Captain Cabu thinks, since he's someone who actually did fly the airplane. Would probably know. But it does seem like it's a little better than it was before, for sure. All right. Well, I think it would be cool to maybe check out some see nothing. I'm checking VATSIM really quickly, just seeing if there's anybody. There's nobody online. Don't think we're gonna get anybody online this hour of the night for controllers. Every now and then you might. I actually have had luck in El Salvador. Like I said, that last time I was down there, it was much earlier in the evening. But I don't know if the person who controls down there just kind of keeps an eye and sees if anybody's flying down there, because he just hopped on like right when I was logging on and basically controlled my flight and then hopped off. So maybe. Well, I doubt that I'll get out any earlier tomorrow night on the flight back to Fort Lauderdale, but maybe, just maybe, we'll have a controller since it's Friday night. But we'll see. And I don't know if the controller's local or to El Salvador or Honduras or somewhere, but maybe they'll be up watching the game, so they'll already be awake, but who knows? We'll see. I'm definitely planning on watching it tomorrow. I think it'd be cool. I wish you could watch it, like watch a replay while you're doing the flight and talk about it. But I think that would probably get flagged by YouTube, or I don't think you're allowed to do that. Even though it would be fun. Sean, I did have an idea though for our for the world tours. Maybe we could convince Jason to purchase an old Concorde. We could have a coastal Concorde, right? Knock out those long distances really fast. We'd probably be one of the few virtual airlines with a Concorde. That'd be fun. I don't know anything about flying the Concorde, but I think it'd be fun to learn. Yeah. Hey, maybe I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up in our chat tomorrow with Jason. I'm sure they can clear the cobwebs off of one of them somewhere. Get it back in operational shape. Maintenance might be a little expensive though. All right. Apparently there's some we are over the Misteriosa Bank. Okay. I don't know if that's something you can see a little bit in real world or not. I don't know why it would be on the chart if it wasn't something useful for your visual. This is the FAA sectional mode, which it changes obviously once you get out of the United States, but you can see there's still some detail in Cuba. This may be not the detail that you have in the United States on the VFR sectionals, but so I just wonder if you could see something like the Misteriosa Bank, Rosario Bank. And we'll pull it up. Look at Google Maps. Let's see if there's anything you can see on a satellite view that maybe isn't going to show up on just the water rendering of flight sim in the middle of the ocean. So Misteriosa. I'll pull it over for you all to see once I get it set up. There's really nothing to see. I'm not sure why that's on that why that's on that chart or marked on that chart. I think looks like maybe the ocean's just a little bit shallower in that area, but I don't know if you'd be able to see it from an aircraft at 36,000 feet. Like if the water changes color at all, or you have to be really shallow, I think, for you to be able to tell anything, like, almost like a reef. Sean, you're saying another idea is a short-term dry lease of a wide body. Yes, that's right. We should do it. We should do it. Inter Miami has to somehow get around the world in a matter of 2 weeks or whatever it is. But that'd be fun. Maybe we could take a couple pilots on the trip, you know, and split the flying. You just have to get trained very fast, very quickly. But the Mad Dog could do it, as you and I saw when we were planning, when Inter Miami was initially planned to go have some games in China back in November. They canceled it, but there is a way to do it, even though this Mad Dog is not ETOPS certified. You just have to kind of, I'm guessing if we were to go to Saudi Arabia, we'd probably have to go up into you know, northern Canada, hop over into Greenland maybe, into Iceland, then down into Europe and into the Middle East. I'm guessing that's what we'd have to do. I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure if you... I don't know if there's a way to cross from South America to Africa that would not require ETOPS. But interesting dilemma for sure. Oh, I know. Yeah, it would be fun. If you guys want to do it, I'm willing to.
When ready, set to flight level 200, spirit wing 152.
Well, we're about to leave the second tier of detailed sectional chart into the kind of, I guess this is just the global default on Navigraph. Coming up next, just has the basics. But it's still pretty nice. It'll tell you the names of the towns you're flying over, give you a little bit of airspace details. Well, this is a pretty good time to check on the current weather conditions out at San Salvador. So winds are holding pretty steady, 060 at 3, it's still clear. Temperature is still 26 degrees, so pretty warm. Dew point's 20, so it's humid too. So yeah, more than likely we are going to be landing on runway 7 to the east-northeast. You said Spirit is just a little ahead of you from Fort Lauderdale too. Yeah, they have that late night flight every day to Fort Lauderdale, San Salvador, I saw. Definitely learned a lot more about the flight options to San Salvador from South Florida over the last 2 days, Sean, while we were trying to figure out what flight the team was taking in real life. Because they were not posting it for a long time. I want to see if they still have the NOTAM about. Oh yeah. So if you look here, the bottom NOTAM, tower personnel on job training. So all the way through 26th of February. So that's funny. Well, I'm going to go ahead and pin the. So this is one of the fun things about flying these Central American airports is, so runway 7, they just have, basically there's like an ILS or localizer approach to 7, right? Or you have the RMP, which is like an RNAV type approach, or the VOR, but look at how many options you have for just 3 approaches. It is crazy. And same for runway 25. So you really have to figure out like what your arrival is, what fix you're coming in on. So it takes a little bit more time to make sure you're selecting the right thing here on your way in. So we'll try to do that now, but we are coming in on the, I believe it'll work with the, we get lined up on this arrival, which is the Moram 3 kilos. See, it takes you all the way to Astor, which is good because you're pretty much lined up on the localizer. And you can see Astor is right here on the Zulu. There's the Yankee, which has a so cool. That's cool. RMP, you're only 7 off of Moram. Takes you all the way to, I guess you just go, it takes you around the volcano. And then basically on the right traffic into the runway. And if you have missed, you gotta go to the next plate. And then it has your missed approach procedure. Takes you, basically turns you away from the volcano again. That's cool. Well, I'm gonna have the ILS Zulu. Oh, hey, John. Oh,
Yeah,
you didn't miss too much. We're out over the ocean now, so. Sean and I were talking about how we need to convince Jason to buy a Concorde.
He ain't gonna buy it.
Because of the world.
He's gonna be like out of our price. We can't even buy a Max right now.
It should be a short-term lease, a Concorde for the Inter Miami World Tour. So that
Where else are they going after this?
When ready, flight level 200.
So
Sean, you need to convince Jason to buy a 777 for this.
that'd be cool. I'd be cool with the A300 or a 777. That'd be awesome.
I wish PMDG would give us an update. They haven't gave us an update in 12 days about it. They said it's close.
Is there any estimate? Does anyone have an idea when they think they might come out with it, or?
No, so this is what they said. Our upcoming flagship, the fleet, the PMDG 777, continues to make solid progress through the beta testing period. We aren't yet at the point where we are projecting a release date as well. We still have some number of features that are being baked into the airplane, and many new items that are being tested, tweaks and improvements in order to bring you the most future-rich 777 simulation yet created from desktop simulation.
Huh.
We will begin talking more openly about many of these features as the airplane nears release. And we are also planning to spend a number of weeks doing feature previews and the like mostly to give you the insight into just how incredible the 777 will scratch the big airliner itch when she rolls out in the near future.
Cool.
Atmosphere wings 153, vacating 350 for flight level 200.
And it talks about like 777 or the 7.3 marketplace on the PC and Xbox and livery updates for Xbox.
Like Sean says, soon. It will be out soon. So
yeah, soon it could be March. I'm really excited for the A350 to be honest.
yeah. That thing has some range, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's not because of like Airbus. It's just because there's no good A350, and it has such, you know, a cool cockpit. Like, out of all the glass cockpit aircraft, right, that we could fly, potentially fly, right? It's just a 7.8, but it's freeware stuff. It's not like, you know, actual payware study level, and it sucks because it's like it's such a futuristic jet, and everyone loves like the A350 and A380 and the 7.8 because it's iconic now. You know?
Right.
They all have their looks. Kind of like when the 7.4 came back out, you know, out in the 80s. Everyone was all hyped for it because it was different.
That's a cool airplane. Especially the 200, yeah.
Yeah. I had the 200 payware on X-Plane 11.
Yeah, me too. That was a cool airplane. I just don't play X-Plane 11 anymore. I have a lot of really cool airplanes on there. I wish they would work on Flight Sim 2020, you know?
It's just, I feel like the one downside about 2020 is not a lot of good payware aircrafts came out.
No, especially transport category. There's a lot of general aviation stuff, but not a lot, and a lot of like random military aircraft. Yep. But not a lot of just transport category stuff, which like we were all talking about, DCS is the place to fly fighter jets, you know, not Flight Sim 2020.
Yeah, and I was talking to one of my troops at work the other day. He's telling me like how he flies the F-16, 22, and 35 on Microsoft Flight Sim. I was like, dude, you need to get into DCS so I can buy the 16, and there's like a freeware F-22 that's actually, you know, flyable. And he was like, I do need to get into that, but he's leaving soon. He leaves in March, so he was like, I'm not going to do that now. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I mean, that's not the case.
They don't they're pulling up your stakes really soon.
Yeah.
Man, I'm starting to see Honduras. Off the left side of the mountains of Honduras. So we're getting close. Oh, there's some islands up there. It's probably Aurora time. Very cool. Man, this is like the exact opposite of flying across the lower 48 last week. It was like the winds were roaring at 150 knots off the nose. Now you got 18 knots down here in the Caribbean. You know, it's nice.
Yes, sir.
It's calm winds. Love it. Hey Sean, I think I just heard Spirit on the have live ATC up. I heard them. They're announcing that they were descending. I think that was them, unless it was a different Spirit. Could have been a different Spirit. Spirit flies all over the Central America, it seems.
Did you see it got blocked, the Spirit and JetBlue merger?
I did see that, and I heard Spirit might go bankrupt now.
Yeah, so the reason why they blocked it is because they think it's bad for Spirit's side. It was like a weird explanation. Pretty much like they wanted to protect the Big Four.
Yeah, yeah. There's all sorts of lobbyists everywhere.
I wonder if the Hawaiian and Alaska is going to get blocked. Because Alaskan Airlines not that big of an airline. It's not like, you know, Spirit and JetBlue.
Yeah.
V1 simulation was up with it more in one of his live streams.
Oh, is he talking about it some?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he won't talk about who he flies for, but I'm pretty sure I know who it is.
Well, he moved to Atlanta, so, you know, that tells you something.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he used to fly for Spirit though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 99% sure he used to fly for Spirit because he lived in like the Dallas area and stuff. Didn't
Yeah, and he said he would fly out of Fort Lauderdale a lot. And he said he used to fly down in South America a lot. So it's either American Airlines or Spirit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Spirit.
American goes down there. Yeah. I wonder if it's against his company SOPs that he can't
it
disclose.
usually is. Like when you're actively working somewhere, you're not supposed to talk about it on anything that could be deemed, I don't know. You have to get it approved, you know.
Spirit Wings 153 checking in.
Not like Fly with Big Earn that videotapes everything. Except like him actually flying.
Spirit 153, Salvador control radar contact damage, 9 range, force 1 into the line. KFLL to the approach power 070, more than 3 kilo west. Alright, set via the more than 3 kilo for ILS, runway 07, Spirit Wings 153.
Yeah, that is them.
Clear for the approach. And clear for the approach for runway 07, Spirit 153.
Yes. That's them. Yeah, I have San Salvador up on live ATC, so I don't think we'd be picking it up where we are on the sim, but it's cool to just have some background chatter from the region.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna try to run some performance numbers here, just get an idea of what we're looking at. Just have something set up. So, did you say you were gonna try to fly somewhere tonight, John?
I'm thinking about it, but it also like part of me is like, it's 10 o'clock at night. I got work at 9.
Oh, gotcha. So runway 7.
Salvador Control, good morning, Gemini 111 with you, climbing out of 2200 for 190. Gemini 111, so it's full radar. Have contact, Gemini 111.
Gemini, that is, I wonder if the airplane's leaving, Sean. Gemini, that's the call sign for Global X, I believe. I wonder if they're not having their pilots spend the night in San Salvador. I mean, there's no telling.
145, it's my direct negative. So it's the Nagels, we need a 145.
Let's see, looks like plan to land with 9,000 pounds or zero fuel weight was 999, so that's 108.9 for our landing weight. Let's put that in. There's our speeds. 108.9. I just write all this down on my scratch pad just so I have it handy on a moment's notice. So VRF 40 is going to be 127 and V approach will add 5 to that, so it'll be 132 for tonight. Alright, perfect. Let's get that set on the airspeed indicator. Go ahead and pull out our landing card for 109,000 pounds. Cool. Alright. It's going to be the ILS Locus to Zulu to 7. Go ahead and get everything kind of set up. That way we're all set so we can look at the scenery and not have to rush to get all this set up in the last second. Sean, oh, it looks like they're, so, yeah, they're leaving. Going to Miami, alright. They're not spending the night there.
Get the heck out of Dodge. They're like, screw this.
Yeah. Well, I was looking like, so the airport, which I guess I should show that on the stream, like the hotel that Sean scheduled us to stay at with Coastal. It's like 300 something a night
Yeah.
in San Salvador. It's a Hyatt.
Jesus.
333 a night. I'm like, that's expensive. I was thinking it was gonna be like.
Sean's like, you want to fly the turn tonight?
Yeah. I mean, I could, but I'd be a zombie tomorrow at work.
You don't want to do that to yourself?
No, I'm just gonna. I'll come back tomorrow night. Well, I guess they're having to send someone back down there then, so. Do a turn both nights. See, at Coastal, we actually put our crews up at a nice hotel in San Salvador, so. Oh, I bet it is. Yeah, it might be. You're right, Sean. I should check the prices on a normal week, because this is a big game. I think the stadium seats like 40-something thousand people, and I would be shocked if it was not full. You know what I mean? It's probably gonna be completely full. Well, let's take a look really quickly at
you're
the.
a 2 hour, 25-minute flight.
Yeah. Flight directed to Alpha Papa. Direct to La Mesa, Gemini 111.
Alright, John. You make the decision. Do I do it?
You should do it. You'll be done by 1 a.m.
Hold on, no. Last time you did something like this. 1 a.m. your time or my time?
You said it's like 10 o'clock where you are?
Yeah, it's 10:30 now.
And it's like 2 hours, so yeah, you'll be wrapped up by 1. If you're asleep by 1:30, then you go like 6.5. You got like 6 or 7 hours of sleep.
Yeah. But last time you told someone to do something, it was to me, and you dipped out on them. One thing I don't remember that.
You talking about the world flight?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was funny.
I don't think I remember that.
Hey, he wanted. I just made the hand flying worth his while.
Oh, you definitely made it worth his while.
So we put the money in too. So it all went to a good cause.
Did you use the injector?
Yes.
Like, are you using like AI traffic right now?
Yes.
Center 145, contact Salvador 133 to
Most filing, if you make filing on VATSIM. Is there even
Yeah, we're on the home stretch now. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and brief up the arrival and approach. Just
talk to me? Pretend I'm in the cockpit.
Moram is where we pick up the arrival, so it'll be Moram and at or above 12,000. Ilopango, and then we have D5.0 from YSV on the 209 radio. Yep, at 8,000. So and La Paz at 3,500. Make sure that's in there. Yep, and then Astor at 3,000. So that's our bottom altitude. I'm gonna go ahead and set that in and arm it. So we'll start descending when we're supposed to. There's no ATC, so it's gonna be a self-descent for us tonight. All right, so Astor, we should be set up for the approach. So I have
Gemini 111 with you. We're climbing out of 19.
Salvador International.
34, climbing with 290.
ILS Zulu runway 7, 24th November 23, turn on to 1. Localizer frequency is 110.3, set both sides. I'll turn on our identifiers so we can
level 390,
sure
Gemini
signal.
111.
070 course inbounds. 4.3 from localizer. We should be 1,200 feet. Yep. And TA is set to 300. DH 232. We need 800 meters of visibility. We currently have over 10 miles. The elevation is 101 feet. We have that set in the pressurization. MSA, there's some terrain in the area, so the highest obstacle on this approach plate is at 1,549 feet, but pretty close by. It gets up. There's some volcanoes. So you can see the MSA is 7,500 to the northwest, 8,200 to the northeast, and then 2,000 to the south of the El Salvador VOR. Transition level is flight level 200, so we'll keep that in mind. So it's a little bit higher than what we're used to. And we're coming in Astor's where we join the approach, so it's Astor CF 07, FF 07, yep, and then runway 7, missed approach. Climb on the El Salvador 070 radial until reaching 1200, then climbing right turn to 5000. Outbound via this El Salvador 160 radial and hold at 18 DME, or expect 18 seat instructions. Yep, and that's showing that published hold. 340 inbound, right hand turns. Perfect. Looks like a Pappy on the left, Heil's lighting, and after we land, left hand turn off. Try to get off at Bravo, because I believe Alpha's closed west of Bravo, or east of Bravo, toward the military ramp, so we'll get off there. And we're going back to gate 18, which is right here on the eastern edge of the terminal. That's all I have. You have any questions?
No questions.
So where are you flying?
I am going from Portugal. No. Well, not anymore, because Sim decided to do the whole camera thing.
Alright, well, we just passed Roatan. We have 11,450 pounds of fuel. And we're planning to have 11.2, so we're looking good. Look outside really quickly. It's Roatan. Wonder if that's a potential coastal destination. Have to see if there's some payware for Roatan.
You see that Jason's talking about Honduras?
Yeah, to go Scalpa, that'd be awesome. That's a fun approach. Especially at the old airport. It's a cool place to go. Guatemala City is another one that's fun. Alright, so trying to get my bearings here. Oh, there's San Pedro Sula. That's what I was wondering. Because it's like the Honduran national team, men's national soccer team. They play a lot of times in San Pedro Sula, which is coming up. That's a cool island. Some beautiful mountains in this area. So it's very mountainous.
Are you going closer to your top of drop?
156 nautical miles from the top of descent, according to our
From the airport? Oh.
155 top of descent. Yep. So we're getting there. But we have kind of a, definitely got to stay high for a little while just to not slam into a volcano.
True.
Yeah, I guess that brings us to one of the big threats in this section, in this segment of the flight, is just that if you do have to, like if we have a cabin pressurization failure, you don't want to just automatically go down to 10,000 feet. You know, you gotta look at these grid MORAs here, which grid minimum off-route altitude. So you can see it's 11,700 feet coming up. That's as low as we want to go. Obviously, you go down to 10,000 in this quadrant we're coming up to, but yeah, the mountains get pretty high in this area.
I'll be right back. I'm going to use the restroom.
Alright. That's Sean. Oh, you're saying the hotel's about half price next weekend? Yeah, that figures. Messi's out of town. Well, maybe that's why Global X is like, it's just cheaper for us to take the plane back to Miami and use it for something else tomorrow and then fly a plane back. Who knows, they might have another plane down in Central America somewhere that needs to come back to the US. It's empty and there's no telling. Actually, I had never looked at their operation at all until this afternoon when we found out that they were taking Inter Miami down to San Salvador. So I saw they are hiring first officers right now. So I think they just require you to have at least 1,500 total time, and they prefer you to have an A320 type certificate. But they're hiring first officers. If you want to do some of this flying in the real world. I just remember my first time flying down here, even in X-Plane 11, where the scenery was not the greatest, right? It's just default scenery if you're flying into Honduras. And I remember just being blown away by it, thinking, wow, this is a beautiful part of the world. It really is. And some of you that have been on my YouTube channel for a long time, you know, one of the first things I was doing was a world tour and it was going down through Mexico in mostly smaller piston planes, but I mean, even like Mexico, it's an absolutely beautiful country. Just some of the variety of landscapes you get to see, and beautiful mountainscapes, volcanoes, oceans with mountains right on the coast, and I mean, it's just a beautiful place. But Central America is just more of the same. Just it's a beautiful country. So yeah, absolutely thrilled to be able to do this flight tonight. So thank you, Sean, for helping to make it possible. Now I wonder if the volcanic ash near Tegucigalpa would show up as like a cloud layer in Flight Sim 2020. I do wonder that. Guess that'd be more up over that direction, but maybe in 2024 they can simulate volcanic ash. Well, our fuel temps here are down to 4 and 6. See, so we're still staying above 0. Now I misspoke earlier. It's the volcanic ash is near Guatemala City, not Tegucigalpa. Sorry, Guatemala City, which makes sense. There goes the bug with, I think it's my Honeycomb Bravo. I don't know what it is. It'll randomly lower the gear sometimes, even though the lever hasn't moved. So just make sure the guys in the back row are awake. Well, while we were talking about the hotels, let me show you it's the Hyatt Centric San Salvador. That is where Coastal Airways has us planned staying this evening in San Salvador. So here, I'll show it to you really quickly. It is not cheap to stay there this weekend though, because of the big game. But here's what it looks like in the lobby area. It looks pretty nice, right? And it's in the middle of San Salvador. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff you can do. Here's kind of what the rooms look like at the Hyatt Centric San Salvador. So it looks like a pretty comfortable place. But like I was saying, it is not, that's what the suites look like. They have the suites. Yeah, look at that. View of the city, the mountains. But not a bad looking place, but you got to pay about 333 American US dollars per night right now to stay there, so that's kind of crazy. But you can see they have, it's located right downtown, so it's quite a ways from the airport actually. Because the airport's down along the coast, and then you have to drive up about 2,000 feet above sea level into the city. But quite a few different museums, malls. See, 30 minutes away to the beach, which is not too far from the airport. And then there's also the Cerro Verde National Park, so wooded trails and cloud forests. This park lining 3 volcanoes, Santa Ana, Izalco, and Cerro Verde. The tallest volcano in El Salvador stands 7,605 feet above sea level and features 4 nested craters. Izalco stands on the southern flank of Santa Ana, as once famed as the lighthouse of the Pacific. Okay, so that's about 40 miles west of, there's the Cerro Verde. So we might be able to see it on the way in, but we'll check that out. That's the highest volcano in El Salvador.
Por la derecha, rumbo 150 por tráfico de Ancha 101. Asegura 370 y 1 minuto para volar directo a Museo Avianca 101.
Yeah, you can. These volcanoes down here are so easy to pick out too, though. I mean, just look. You can see a couple of them down there to our south. Those conical shapes. I'm wondering if that is the one we were just talking about there, the highest one in El Salvador. You can see as you head up, that's probably still Honduras. Maybe getting toward Guatemala. I mean, it is really high mountains. I do remember the one time I flew into Guatemala City, I was in a Saab, and it was pretty low. It was IMC conditions, and I could see you'd get yourself in trouble if you got off course, because you'd slam right into the side of the mountains surrounding the city. So Guatemala City, that's another really fun place to fly into if you're looking for a cool place to go in Flight Sim 2020. Yeah, I definitely have my fingers crossed that one day Coastal will be flying to Guatemala City. I'm turning the terrain on now since we're going to be around a lot of high terrain. Let's check out outside the aircraft again. Let's take a look at some of the scenery around us. Beautiful. I was trying to see what this Mike Hotel Uniform Yankee Airport is. It's Copan Cucuyagua. Cucuyagua. Yeah, you can see on the topographical map here just how Guatemala City is just surrounded by really high mountains. Let's see if I can find out what the height. The elevation's at almost 5,000 feet, so that's a decent elevation. Let's see if I can open the charts. Maybe they have some reference of what it looks like in the area. Here, a picture of Guatemala City. Yeah, you can see the mountains around there. Look, there's a volcano that goes up to 12,500 feet. Right off the runway 2 there. I mean, just some really cool views. You can see, yeah, see there's that volcano at 12,500 feet right off the end of runway 2. You're approaching into runway 2. It's like a massive drop off at the, not too far from the end of the runway. Like, it's just a cool airport. I'm just having a good time looking around it. Yeah, there's some really tall mountains out there at 1 o'clock. That's gotta be those ones over toward Guatemala. I think I'm making out the Pacific Ocean now. Yeah, it might be Lake Ilopango there, maybe. Popular spot in El Salvador.
United 1266, descend to 4,000.
4,000, United 1266.
Pull the map back up. Sorry about that. So I pulled it down for a bit. But it's helpful to be able to see where we are if you're watching on the stream. Yeah, we'll check and see if there's any updates on the weather. San Salvador, we're still pulling up the, we might have an update in 3 minutes. So I'll check in a few minutes. Make sure there's nothing major that changed with the weather conditions, but for now, I mean, it is looking just as forecast. Pretty clear. I can see all the way clear to the Pacific Ocean.
3,000 feet, so after the Island 07, United 1266.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, and you?
Doing well. Doing well. How's your flight going?
Well, I couldn't move my camera around, so I quit out, and then I was like, you know what, it's gonna be way too late now at this point.
But we're 15 miles from top of drop here. So I'm almost there. Yeah, I was reminded of how cool Guatemala City is to fly into. So I was like, I need to put that in the airport future destinations section as a request. It's just surrounded by these really tall
mountains. Putting a whole bunch
mountains.
in there, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I mean, what was it? Freedman, Idaho, Sun Valley. I think that's the one we've been talking about for a while. But Jason was saying it has to have a payware or some sort of scenery, and someone just came out with one. So
Pretty good.
I haven't purchased it yet, but I need to. I'd like to.
United 1266 Central Tower, 1810.
Yeah, I hope they have volcanic ash in 2024. You know, they kept showing all those weather phenomenon in the trailer, like tornadoes and stuff, and wildfires. They need to have volcanic eruptions.
Yeah.
And if you fly through the ash cloud, it'll destroy your engines, you know? Flame them out.
Sir.
That'd be awesome. Alright. Just beginning our descent. Awesome. Looks like I need some drag. Yeah, we're a little high. I don't know why it calculated the top of the descent that late. We're gonna be alright, but man. Flight management computer did something weird with its calculations.
How close are you to the airport?
Let's see. Well, we have to do an extended downwind stuff. We're probably like 50 miles away, but we have to do like that really long procedure around the mountain.
How is it by you?
What time is it? 2 a.m. Alright, flight level 200 is our transition altitude, so I remember that. There's Lake Illapanga, downtown San Salvador. Alright, there's our so 1010
John still in the
QNH.
chat?
Dewan?
John, you still there? Oh no, Sean.
Oh,
Dewan's
Sean.
probably asleep.
Oh yeah, Dewan. Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty. It's like 3 a.m. where he is. All right, we're back on profile now. There we go. All right, time for our descent checks. Alright, descent check, engine sync is off, pressurization set checked, hydraulics on, high, altimeters, QNH of 1010, need to set it in the center here on the standby. QNH 1010 is set, cross-checked, and land data, airspeed bug set, descent check complete. Man, there's just like a line of volcanoes right in this area. It's crazy.
Can't wait to see him.
Yeah. Yeah, up there in Guatemala, you can see it's. So this is downtown San Salvador coming up. There's another airport in downtown, which just, I guess it isn't used as much for international, but it's included in the payware scenery you get for this, for San Salvador. It gives you 2 airports, which is cool.
We need to move down to Central and South America with coastal.
Yeah, that'd be cool. There's some fun flying here. Yeah, so somewhere in there is the stadium. Alright, we're picking up the localizer now. Yeah, somebody else, I think it's on flightsim.to, but there's a payware El Salvador scenery that adds some landmarks and things. I did not get that one yet, but like it includes the soccer stadium that they're playing in for this game.
Will you be flying over the stadium?
I'm sorry?
Are we gonna be flying over the stadium or near it?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to look. There's the old airport that's close to downtown. see some of the skyscrapers. I don't know where the stadium is though. I'm guessing it's somewhere off our right side. I just can't see it. The airport's a long way from the actual city. They have it like all the way down here by the ocean. I think it's like 28 miles from the city. Yeah, it's like a long way off. I'm guessing part of it's just because of the mountains.
Would do it.
San Salvador International traffic. Grip type 5801 MD-83 left downwind runway 7. San Salvador International. There is no one out here. Alright, so we're supposed to cross La Paz. At 3,500 feet. Okay. Alright, we're going to do FMS override on the speed. Alright, next up we should be at Astor at 3,000. And then that's when we should be intercepting the localizer. Let's check this identifier, make sure it's matching up. Check out Morse code here. Yep, that's good. So let's go ahead and arm our ILS. Should see the localizer coming in shortly.
Oh.
Runway's in sight. Looks like we have a stall indicator failure. That's not good. It was stall indicator failure. Look. Oh man.
All right.
Well, we should probably check that out before we get any slower. Is what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna keep us out over the ocean for a minute. We're just gonna do some maneuvers. Let's do heading mode, please. Off ILS.
2500.
Alright, autopilot's off. We're gonna climb back up to 3,000 feet. We'll turn off the ILS here.
Probably the worst place to break a jet.
Yeah. Go figure, right? Alright. Let's take it down to 3,000. And we'll go down here. Let me turn that off for a minute. I'm just gonna look at the QRH and see if I can figure out what it says about that. Because, I mean, that's the thing is, if it's a stall indicator problem, it might make you come in faster, or I just don't know. If you're gonna be getting down toward anything with like the alpha margin, like you don't, it could be reducing that. So let's see. I'm gonna pull up our QRH, have it somewhere on my desktop here. I'm just gonna keep our speed up until I know for sure what it wants us to do. MD-80 manuals, I think that's where I have it. Yeah, QRH. Oh. Yep, this is the one. So it's stall indicator failure. I don't know if it'll let me share this window or not, but stall indicator failure 9.26. So that's flight controls 9.26. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna see if I can bring this up on screen. I don't know if I can. Let's see. Let's see, window capture. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll just read it to you all. So stall indicator failure, note a malfunction of one or both stall warning systems may result in illumination of auto slat fail message with slat extension. Caution, do not extend flats until below 240 knots as slats may extend into full position. If message illuminates with stall warning or recognition signal, no. Did not. If message illuminates without stall warning or recognition signal, test stall warning system. Test both systems to determine which, if either has failed. Okay, so let's do that really quickly. So we're at the point where we would hold. I'm just gonna stay in this area near Diagor. But let's test our stall systems really quickly. Let's see which one's failed. So system 2 works. System 1 works apparently. Okay. Alright, let's continue. Could it be a simism? I don't know. If on ground, verify both Airways sensors are appropriately fared. If both system tests normally, continue flight with system operating. Leave both stall warning systems powered. Stall warnings may occur at other airspeeds or configurations. Okay, so we will be getting into a different configuration. If nuisance warning occurs, pull stall warning, computer, circuit breaker X23 and Z23. So those would be, let's see, X23. I'm not going to pull it now. I'm just trying to see where it is. X23.
135,5 me confirma para 2187.
It's way down there. I don't see it.
355, buen día, Bianca 187.
Unless it's over here. I don't even know if they have that simulated. They probably don't. No, it doesn't look like you can click most of these, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. Anyways, you'd look for that if you're in a real Mad Dog, where you could pull the circuit breakers. Continue on next page. If the system fails test, which it didn't, we don't have to worry about that. End of procedure. Okay, cool. Well, let's head on back. We're gonna go back and land. So we're basically at the area where you would hold. So we're gonna turn back around, go back to the airport. We might get a nuisance fault. I'm just gonna make sure I do not get our airspeed low, since the stall warning might not be operating correctly, and it said that if once we change configuration we might get a warning, and I don't think we'll have a way to deactivate it due to not being able to pull the circuit breakers, so we'll just have to deal with it. And I'll call a mechanic out once we get on the ground and see if see what they find.
I'm right here.
There you go. Awesome.
They would probably bring
that's good service
mechanic on this trip for something.
It's good service. Yeah, that's
they
a
would
weird.
probably fly a mechanic out here.
I think it's just a gremlin.
Dude, I need Morgan Wallen to drop this one song because it just hits the feels hard. In a good way, not a bad way. You know when you hear a song and you're just like, this song it just hits right now.
Yeah. Let me try to reload this. Zulu 7 X. Oh man, I just cleared the whole thing out. Whatever. Well, we're gonna be going out this way to intercept the localizer. It's auto sequencing us to all the way to the missed approach hold since they're already all the way out there. I just figured if I'm going to be changing screens and looking at a PDF, I might as well just head out over the ocean, not slam into a volcano. You can definitely see them looming out there. I'll take a picture of this for the right up when I got on the ground. Alright.
Oh, my profile picture on YouTube you were asking about early? That
Yes.
was, you remember that I told you me and my buddies, we run an AI racing league?
Yeah.
On the old NASCAR sim?
I do
Yeah,
remember
so that was our first logo we made. I just never changed it. Because I used to
Gotcha.
stream it on Twitch and then posted videos on my YouTube channel, but then we made a separate YouTube channel, so I just deleted all of them.
Cool.
Then. I don't know why that popped up in my head now.
Yeah, I was wondering.
And we're actually, the first race we're doing for this season is tomorrow when I'll be streaming it. More of a podcast with cars in the background though. We kind of talk about random bolts, you know, BS, and then like also commentate the race.
Yeah, I love the racing stuff. I need to do some more iRacing.
So Cody actually does iRacing too. Maybe us three can find like a league that works for our time.
That'd be fun.
Race together, like a fun league, you know, kind of like a beer league. No, you know, nothing gets involved. You just hop in, have some fun, race.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I was reaching in my refrigerator to grab something to drink, and then I remember I don't have anything to drink, and I'm waiting for it to get delivered.
What if Sean's falling asleep now? So he probably has. Well, the flight got extended by about 30 minutes due to that fault message.
All warning.
That could be a serious
sir.
one though if it's, you know.
Yeah, it can be. If it's on a nuisance alarm.
Alright. So on the charts it says, I'm supposed to say El Salvador for this airport. El Salvador traffic, okay. El Salvador traffic, riptide 5801, MD-83, extended right base, runway 7, El Salvador International. Oh, there's Sean, he's still up.
He's a trooper.
Yeah, this is the eternal flight, Sean. We had a stall indicator failure message, so I had to run out, do a QRH over the ocean. Now we're coming back into land.
He woke up to our voices. We were whispering sweet nothing in his ears.
That's right. Alright, time to slow this bird down.
Is that literally how this works? Hold on. I might have figured out how to install liveries.
The what?
Other than that dog. I gotta.
Oh, you're looking at it? That's
think I
awesome.
learned Yeah, because I was like, why don't you at least install the liveries? So you gotta like copy and paste them into the livery manager. It's weird. I thought it expired.
It's fine.
Paste.
Sure, intercepting the right thing. Alright.
If that's how you have to do it and I was this dumb all along, I'm gonna be mad.
What, installing the new delivery?
Yeah. No way. Not showing up.
Airways in sight. Last time you fell asleep, you woke up to the pressures. I know, the plane just breaks whenever you fall asleep. Like, this one wasn't as serious. Basically, I went through the QRH, you had to test both stall systems, and they both were working, and it said just continue. You might get a nuisance fault. So, but thankfully John's on the flight. He said he'll be our mechanic.
What kind of fault are you having? A stall what?
It's a stall indicator failure. Stall IND failure.
MD
2500.
Stall, what was it? Stall what?
IND failure. Alright, gear down. Flaps 28.
Apparently this is very common because I'm getting a bunch of news articles about this with different flights.
It's a very common one. Flaps 40.
Yeah.
Salvador International. Riptide 5801, 5 mile, final runway 7. Salvador International. Landing gear is down, 3 green, ignition, A set, spillers, ABS, arms, and medium, flaps and slats, 40, 40, set. Land check complete. Alright. Autopilot's coming off. Auto throttle's coming off. Here we go. Going missed, it'll be straight out to 1200, then a right turn. It's VMC conditions, so I'll probably I'm just gonna go back around at 600 feet right traffic. Still have leaves on the trees down here.
Me confirma volar a Nubancio de
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Oh god. Nothing's here.
Alright, welcome to San Salvador. Off at Charlie. I'll take it, thanks Sean. 154. I floated it a little bit, but I'll
Isn't the
take it.
elevation really high?
It's only 100 feet at this one. It's down in the coastal plain. Alright.
I'm gonna take like I know a lot of Central America airports are like high up there.
Yeah, they are. Okay, let's get our Salvador International Traffic Group tab 5801, clear runway 7 at Charlie, taxiing to gate 18. Salvador. Alright. Ah, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Comes gate 18. Get all our peoples in place, yeah. Is our marshaller there? Oh, they're like stuck behind some equipment. What? That's crazy. Alright, clear left. Clear right. Here we go. I can still see them though. Apparently I need to move them in the GSX profile. Behind a forklift. Alright. We made it. CPU up. Yep. Let's check that generator. Voltage and frequency are good. Shut them down. Definitely need some air conditioning in this area. Alright. Let's see, request deboarding. Here we go. Alright, let's go ahead and run the parking check. Parking brake is set. Flaps, slats up, lights out. Fuel levers off. Hydraulics. We'll leave them on for just a minute. I got all that off. Okay, I can turn them off now. We're not using the air stairs in this one, so. Hydraulics are off. Beacon. Turn it off now. Our N2 is low enough. Oil and hydraulic quantity are checked. Parking check complete. All right. That's all we got here. Looks like they should be deplaning here in a minute. Let me open the cockpit flight deck door here. Well, thanks for riding along. Sean, thanks for all your help during the flight. John, thanks for your help too. I'll be checking in with you here in just a minute. Unless, did you find out anything about that maintenance problem we have?
I did not.
Okay.
I need a. There's a website I can look up, but I have to do it on my laptop.
I'm gonna report the malfunction here. Let's see if I can find it. This is what stall. I took a picture. Stall indicator failure. It's actually in the flight control.
So it's probably
Stall warning instruments.
flight controls.
See instruments stall warning.
Is that what the QRH says?
Yeah,
Use
in the QRH it's in
Send me
flight
a message with
controls.
that. Exactly.
Yeah, I'll send that to you. But it looks like in the electronic aircraft technical log for the Leonardo, it's in instruments. So I'm just gonna add that, and there it is. Instrument stall warning.
That's what I want.
All right. Oh, cool. Let's go ahead and do a quick. We'll do a walk around here in a bit when while they're deplaning. But for now, VRF Simmer, I'm going to go ahead and sign off the official stream here. Thank you everyone for joining. I'll be flying back up to Fort Lauderdale tomorrow night. May or may not stream that, but I will be streaming again in the future at some point. So thank you all so much for being here. It's been my pleasure having you aboard. For now, VRF Simmer signing off.
airplane fuel system to set the desired fuel quantity.